We go ahead and get started. What do you want to start with?
So, I just wanted to run this past you. Usually we try to hold a county and cities meeting. We haven't done that for a couple of years. I think actually the last one was in 22. Didn't know if you'd be interested in setting it up and maybe just set it annually that we would hold it. And I just picked February, the third Monday of February, and invite the schools. So we can work on an invitation and see what we do. So what we've done in the past with that is that we have gone to, I think we went to Brookville a couple times. We've had it catered in here a couple times and invited the representatives, mayors, or administrators from the cities to come in and just kind of meet and talk about what's going on and see what's up. So, and I thought maybe February would be a good time because they're starting to plan their budgets.
Yeah, but is that a good time for legislators?
Legislators will be, we'll do that another time with them. We'll do that like one of
them
them.
saying.
Yeah.
So we did.
And I want to do that the first week of January before they go back into session for the legislators, invite them in.
One thing I recall on that, so we can factor it in. One time we did it and we invited everyone.
Mhm.
And so then we had 25 people here. And so then each person got 5 to 10 minutes to tell about what was going on in Enterprise and their Harrington and so on. And so it turned into like a 3-hour meeting. And then the other one time we did it where we divided it up, and not that we're trying to isolate one from the other, but invited Chapman and Solomon, for example. And then the other time and so I guess that's depending on what feedback you want from them, or how much of a two-way conversation which we want. I mean, I guess that'd be the only factor that.
Right.
The one time we did it where it was all of the cities. This goes way back, and it was Fort Riley was going to have different brigades, I think, appointed to certain cities to adopt. And then the county did one overall. So then we did have everyone show up.
Right.
But anyway, I mean, and we've all sat through 3 meetings too. I mean,
Right.
it's okay.
And we've never invited the schools before, but I thought if we wanted to talk about anything in particular, try to get more
I
people.
mean, I'd kind of like maybe we could use that as part of our criteria, divided up in school districts or whatever, and they communicate back and forth too. So if we had, Abilene and Solomon, for example, in 2 school districts represented, maybe that would be and then put Harrington and Hope together. But I don't know. That's the other thing. You do 3 meetings. You do 3 meetings.
Right.
Or 2, and if they each end up 2 hours versus 1 that's 3 hours, I mean, so kind of whatever you're.
Or do it like you do, like the township people, just have one meeting at Stir Hall.
You could also, I'm not afraid of a long meeting. I kind of asked to do this.
Yes.
And the reason I want to do this is I feel like I'm going to go back to costs and taxes. I think public was pretty clear. I don't feel like everyone is participating based off. I don't know where budget hearings are going to go this year, but I want to know what they're facing. I need to understand why they can't, what is going on in their
Or what their
budget.
concerns are.
Yeah, what's going on? And I just want to be the leader, I guess. If we can help them. Is there resources we know that they don't? I don't know. We don't know anything until we get a dialogue, I guess is where I'm at. I'm fine with doing multiple
And they'll have
meetings.
suggestions for us too. So,
Right.
I mean, it's not a.
Right. Bigger, can we share some things really? And that's some of the topics that need to come up. Honestly, I don't know where the topics are going to go. That's the whole point. So,
One of the things that gets a little bit, and each of them are important, but for example, since Chapman's larger, for example, they would have more to talk about than Manchester or Carlton.
Right.
And And so, so with the larger ones, probably dominate the conversation because there's more going on. So that's where I don't want to leave the
Mhm.
smaller ones out, but then I don't want to.
No, you know what, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what
well,
we do, divvy it up
microphone's on and the
between the larger cities.
things are
and
unlit,
Get the smaller
so.
ones coming in too on their own meeting.
I mean, they're lit,
Cities
sorry.
and-
The speakers.
Maybe we could put the schools.
That was my technical term.
Maybe
Yeah,
we do
they're
it first.
showing light that
Mhm.
they are.
I get your idea, it does make sense.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
It gets plugged in anymore.
I think more
I think
meaningful
either-
conversation too.
Yeah, I think put like Hope and Harrington together and either Abilene and Chapman or Abilene and Solomon and then the Carlton. And
I
you know,
didn't plug it
you'll
before
probably,
because it was
just
taking
like
over,
it is on,
it wouldn't work before, so.
you know, you've probably sensed this on the Economic Development Board. Sometimes the conversations go where the most activity is.
Right. I
And
agree. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I think probably too, John, what do you
So
think?
like doing maybe the larger cities, one meeting.
Okay.
Mine,
Show up
Chapman,
either way,
Harrington.
I'm sure of that.
Well, no, I mean, if it's county, you know, like
Probably Abilene, Harrington.
city thing,
And then
and you've done that in the past where the mayors came in,
smaller cities
Solomon.
clerks, and we met
and
with
school districts.
I don't know, Brookville one time, remember that?
Mhm.
He's got a
I
good
think
point.
two
He's
meetings,
thinking, then we could have that conversation.
Yeah, it works
with
out.
those
Okay.
groups. I agree. Abilene got more things come up.
Right, right. 3 meetings you're thinking?
That's,
Either 2 or 3.
Okay. And hang on a second, you want the school districts from Abilene and Harrington in with that meeting?
I do. That's where we're thinking 3. Do we need to have their own deal, talk to them on their own? I think what we're going at here is we don't want the conversation to be dominated by one person.
Right, yeah.
I think you're gonna get that cities have their own issues, schools have their own issues, and to get the information that you want to hear, it probably should be the same
Yeah.
entities at the same time, not mixing, because
Gotcha.
you're gonna get off subject here from there and there, and then someone isn't gonna get to talk.
Okay.
It's my
Why don't we do
opinion.
2
Well, the
meetings?
school districts, for example, are going to be interested in roads and maintenance because of bus routes.
Right.
And so,
Can you
You
hear
guys
us
do
now?
what you want to do. I'm just saying that.
No, I
That
agree.
could be an issue.
I'm hoping to do it 2. So one with all the cities, one with all the schools.
Okay.
And then that, I do think the cities is gonna be a larger one, but if it needs to be a longer meeting, it needs to be a longer meeting.
mhm. And you know, it's
You
an
guys are
open
okay with
meeting.
that?
It's an open meeting. So if a city rep would want to hear what the schools have to say, or the schools want to hear what the cities say, they could.
But when
But
you,
the focus would be school districts
Instead of you make it like,
and cities on the other. And then, like you said, we do the townships. We do the townships on a separate one. So it's not
And
like.
we've had all 5 cities. We've had it big enough that we've had,
if you want people to be able to come listen, where's the room?
well, we could go out to Star Hall or something like that too. That's not a problem. Or we've gone to
Well-
Bill and done it, or we've,
And when you talk about it being open and people coming to listen, the reality is unless there's a real hot button issue, there won't be
right.
maybe 1 or 2,
Yeah. I don't recall really anybody coming in the past.
you know, typically they
Everybody's a
wouldn't.
little more involved than in the past, though. People are more interested in what's going on now.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying, take that in consideration, because you don't want to have a meeting and then have everybody in the hallway.
Yeah, well, if it's going to involve a light meal or something like that, we'd either have to have it downstairs and set that up, which we could.
We could.
Or if we want to do Brookville.
Mhm.
And.
you gonna say something wrong?
Yeah, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with meetings, and I want to use the word time wasting. But you want to accomplish what, you have a goal to accomplish. What do we want to accomplish? I mean, we want to meet and greet and hug each other. You know, and that's an accomplishment in itself. Or is there something we want to accomplish? Because we can all sit there and tell stories. I'm for hours to do that.
Well, I
But
think
we're not going to help anybody.
Yeah, I think we want the dialogue back and forth. I think also, Kenny, what you'd mentioned, the tax issues as far as as budgetary?
Mhm.
And then what resources do we have to help each other?
I'm even gonna say a bigger ideology, Ron. We're a county. The cities, the schools, we're all in this county together.
Mhm.
Yeah, we gotta govern this county together. And if we're all off, I just feel like a little bit of collaboration and communication go a long way.
Well, we all have a piece of that piece of paper that says taxes. And we're all, our hides are tied to it pretty tight this year, particularly, and they, last year was a little bit. But people are concerned about money,
Mhm.
obviously. I mean,
That's just to create the dialogue and also to see what they're facing and what is it, maybe we can collaborate on something and make it a little bit easier or more cost effective. That's really what I'm hoping to get, communication. So yeah, a little bit of hugging, but
So the city will have their elections in November, so there's still some
Right.
changes, and I guess school board too, but I don't think there's any challenges on school board, is there?
No.
So if we wanted to do one in November, we probably could, and then the city in February or. So, but anyway.
and in the legislature, you know, they're still working with this and it's a hot issue. These school deals on the boundary lines and to what schools they're gonna keep going, what schools are not. Those are items really hot that are gonna affect
And
all
school
of us.
finance will be on the legislators' watch.
Absolutely.
100%.
This stuff way above my pay grade.
They'll have a new city manager most likely by February too. That's kind of why I was thinking after the first of the year,
Mhm.
you know, so.
Okay, that's true. That would.
And then, and I was fine with doing an all day deal if we had to do it that way. I don't know if people want to do it that way, but
I think
have
it's gonna be
different sessions and then they could come to their session.
right. Well,
When we're talking about this and we're talking about this.
I think it's gonna be trickier because some of the elected officials in the cities work during the day too.
Yeah, true.
Hi,
All right.
Ron Romer.
Yes,
I guess I need to speak to you about this tax bill program.
next Dale,
Yeah.
the one that's going on today.
Yep.
You visit with the council, you guys,
It's going to be
It's
downstairs
in the basement today.
rather than here.
Okay.
They're selling my property and they should be selling it.
what's your name, sir?
William Rhodes.
What I'd like you to do, we're in study session right now. I do have a time, we can give you a public comment if you want to make a public comment, unless, Ron, you want to take the time to have a conversation with them, but yeah, that would be the appropriate time to do that.
I mean, I appreciate that, but they're selling it today. Right, matter of fact, right now, they put me first. I've done 23 of them, so they put me first. And I've got proofs that the ladies over there lied about the deeds and everything else. I've got witnesses, I've got affidavits and everything.
Yeah.
That they're lying about all this crap.
what town you talking about? Oh,
Yeah, lying in the country.
yeah. I will reaffirm one thing. If there's anything wrong with any of that, I guarantee you, I've experienced it personally. They'll take care of it. I guarantee you. That if
I've
there's
been
any-
doing this for 3 years now.
Well, you come back at our session here and we'll just visit.
We can get into that. And then I would direct, where do we need to? Treasurer.
And the county counselor.
Have you visited with, I mean, you were notified previous that this was coming up and.
But he's downstairs.
I've been trying to deal with this for the last 2.5 months. So I knew it was coming up, but I didn't know where to go. Now I'm at the end.
Understand.
I just walk away and be done with it. I'm trying to.
Here's what I don't want to happen. This tax sale's at 10 a.m. We're gonna start session at 11, our actual work, our meeting. So I think probably the appropriate place to go to right now is to the treasurer's office and talk to her.
I already did that. I
Okay.
did that yesterday.
And you talked to
Um,
Doug Thompson.
Doug is our county counselor.
Doug is the county counselor. He's downstairs in the basement right now. That's who's gonna be conducting the tax sale. Those are the two individuals you need to talk to.
I thought that the sheriff was gonna sell.
I believe so, the sheriff is.
Sorry, I
The
apologize.
sheriff is, but the county counselor is our legal counsel and he will be able to advise what he
The
can.
attorney that did all this,
Yes.
Yes.
he's one that liked me about not being able to pay payments on the taxes 3 years ago. And I got proof of that.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That's what I asked him. I didn't even buy this property at the tax sale. I just signed the other paperwork, because I bought it like 2 weeks before the tax sale. I don't know why they even got me under the tax sale.
My understanding is that you have not paid your taxes since 2018 on it, and that's why you're listed on the tax sale.
Showing Kinrock's taxes, not mine. I've only got to pay less than a year and a half.
How do you want to handle this?
Let me go see if, let me go down and talk to the treasurer.
Okay.
And I'll be right back.
You're going to be paid, so I'm glad you paid. Because
I'll be frank with you, we set the budget. I don't know the ins and outs of exactly what happened on this, but we're gonna get the people involved and we're gonna find some answers for you. That's the best we can do right now.
so you're probably gonna get a lot of phone calls today.
I've been getting them.
Everybody in the world trying to call you.
Yeah, and then look, we're not saying you guys are enemies. You remember that out there.
Yeah.
We're here to help. If there's something wrong, we'll get it fixed. Believe me, I guarantee you.
I agree, I agree.
Yeah, we're not.
I even got proof, like I said, the computer that the G place, which for the public to read, they changed my property 3 times, the name on it 3 different times. Back from my name to back to Sean, back to my name, and they changed it from agriculture to residential. It's agriculture, it's not residential. When I bought the place, I combined 2 pieces of property into one. And now they say I didn't even do that, right? I threw a paper text me that, you filed it, it's right here. Oh, we didn't do that.
Do you have like receipts or copies of checks where you've paid property tax?
No, sir, I didn't realize I had to pay Sean's property tax when I bought it. I figured he was gonna pay that, because it's part of our deal. And he screwed me around and didn't do it.
So you didn't work through a titling company or something like
So
that?
I guess I didn't put payment.
I would highly suggest you work through a titling company in the future. That solves your problems like this. Well, let's just wait. We need to hear from the treasurer. We need to hear from Doug. I mean, unless you get,
No,
It's gonna be what it's gonna be, but it's not right. We have done a lot of work in this place.
well, I think if you can prove what you're saying to be true, then I think you're in the right. So, but I'm not gonna, we need to get Doug involved. We need to get the treasurer involved.
so I'm gonna make you feel good now. I bought a piece of property a number of years ago. Tax sale. Bought it, gonna fix it up. So went and got my dozer, ready to take the house down that was on it. And it was not legally, so I could not legally buy that property. So they caught it, stopped me and said, you can't have that property. And it was just 20 minutes. I had that house down.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. I'm thankful I didn't do that, because what happened was there was a page in the deed and abstract papers got turned over and I didn't see that extra page. And there was a page there that released that deed, that leave that abstract and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've got people up there in Bowling, actually Harrington, that has paperwork and stuff like that, that Harrington has sold them the streets in town. And they tried to buy them back, we want to sell them, we want to keep them.
Well, yeah, anyway.
So there's nothing that can be changed right now, where by statute have to follow the steps for a tax sale. Okay? So you're more than welcome to go downstairs.
They're up here just making that.
Okay.
I apologize for it, but please, yeah, you're doing fine. You're doing great. Thank you. I appreciate it. I understand you're upset. Okay. Why don't we
You want to talk?
table the meeting a little bit?
Yep.
Let's go over that a little more.
Okay.
I don't want to spend all day. What did you want to go? Do you want to talk about the Scott Hill meeting now?
So let me get my notes up and kind of talk about what we visited about, which was a lot of different things, that's for sure. So I appreciate him taking the time, definitely. We talked about the potential committees that he might be on. He's thinking education. We talked about the motor vehicle fees, which we continually are doing all the work for the state and then get charged or get minimal amount for that. And the expenses keep increasing with that. Talked also about the childcare licensing that occurs and the requests that we had. And then I also mentioned the meeting that we had with KDOT and the approaches, which was okay. Yeah, was okay. That's about it. So he did say that the legislators will continue their process that they started last year and reviewing all the budget, which is interesting. So they need to start a little bit earlier. We talked about property tax relief and the Astro fund. Yeah, so
You want me to tell them? Sorry,
no.
quick break.
of us.
I don't want to fight anybody. It's huge.
So it sounds like there's a mix up that they had done a deal between two people, a relative, and each thought the other was going to pay for this.
Yeah.
And
That's what, because I asked him, did you go through a titling company? He said, no. And I said, well, this is why you should go through a titling company. You're gonna make sure taxes are paid and
Well, Rhodes came in and visited with Rose yesterday. So, I mean, they presented a quit claim deed back in 2020. It was in 23. So, yeah. Exactly. So. Then we go downstairs. So, yes, yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. We also talked a lot about economic development and some things that he sees. You know, he talked about alternative energies and what we could do for that. So, I mean, it was an ethanol plant is what he mentioned. So it was a good conversation. It was, and what he's hoping to work on when he's there. So sales tax exemptions, we visited about that. So many of them that are there and the fairness or not fairness of it all, you know, so, but let's see what else. Subsidies that are occurring. We talked about the data centers. We also visited a little bit about the housing because the Mennonite housing, they're looking at the guidelines that they have in place for that. It's based on income, and he's visiting with them. In fact, he had a call with them later on that day, how they're structured. So, which is good. So, and we'll see how that goes. But housing is still something that we definitely need. So, all in all, it was a good conversation, and he'll be back in touch when he gets his committee assignments too. So,
Perfect.
that was very good. So,
Thank you for having that meeting, Janelle.
yeah.
Sick about it. Stuff going around.
well, sometimes too, once he's there, they'll have an idea as far as what leadership has brought up as some of their priorities.
Right.
And it might give us an idea of how we can fit into that or what places there can be some adjustment.
Exactly. I think he's ready to get there and start working on different things. And we did visit again on the property taxes and the Astor bill that had been presented, but school finance, I think, is going to be a big topic for them this year because it re-ups in 27. So that'll be the budget they're working on. So.
I think sometimes when legislators move from the House side to the Senate, they have a little bit of an advantage because they know the lay of the land. But then the other reality is they're still an incoming first-time senator.
Right.
And I don't know, did he mention what kind of turnover took place in the Senate?
He didn't. And I don't remember if they put that out yet.
Well, as far as elections, of course, there still could be changes, but but depending on the numbers. But he communicates well, so I'm kind of guarded optimism, you might say.
Yes, yeah.
Before we get into the department heads, do you want to review the KDOT just real quick?
So that was.
It's going to take a little while.
Actually, Martin will probably touch on a little bit with his presentation, but it was.
I was planning on
Don't you plan on not?
The elevator speech on.
It was pretty much that it's public right away and, they're not going to maintain it. So the county can.
So this is the ramp itself, or is it as soon as you get off the ramp?
Most of them up to the ramps coming road, on the.
So if I get off interstate and I'm on the exit ramp and I get to the stop sign, anything behind me.
If you go over the bridge, you're still on them. If you turn right, you're turning on that.
Right. So that
That's how
little
they would like it.
is how they would like it. So, and they're not going to maintain those things anymore.
So
They're not
did
gonna mow the right of way, they're not gonna clear the snow, they're not gonna put salt down, they're not going to make improvements on some of it. So,
They have been taking care of it and mowing it for 50 years.
Mhm.
And now they're all want to say it shouldn't have been that way, that we should have been taking care of.
right,
But in all these years, they mow north of Solomon up to the right of way markers that KDOT owns and have been taking care of it. But now they're claiming, no, we're not going to do that. No.
the other thing that they brought up is guardrails. They're not attached to some of the structures. And they're looking for agreements to revise them. They should be taking care of those, and
Yeah, because the rule states it was crawled to the bridge it served.
it's theirs.
That's, but the style of bridge they built in the 50s
Fifties, right.
had these curved outsides and they didn't
Oh,
bowl.
they can go all the way up to the concrete.
Right now.
Still should be
They're
there.
not there.
Wow.
Okay, so Another thing they're trying to give us, like a Jeep road, when you get off, all the guardrail that's along the north side of the exit and going north, it doesn't touch the bridge. That's county's, in their opinion.
In their opinion, yes, yes.
And what would determine that there needed to be a guardrail there?
They would have determined that when they designed it and built it. Their engineers determined that that had to have all that.
And it probably goes into the slope and it goes
Yeah,
into
all
the,
the rules, whatever the
Right.
rules were in 1950 or whatever.
Mhm.
60.
because a lot of the bridges that we talked about were built in the fifties. We just directly talked about Interstate 70, and then we did mention a couple other things on state highways in our county,
By Harrington?
by Harrington, by
Harrington,
Industry,
43.
43, that kind of stuff too. So we don't want them. We don't, that's not a responsibility that we are fiscally able to take on. Even if they do pay us some money for it.
They did up the money from 200,000 a mile to 400,000 a mile. Now, that's if it's just been overlaid, like
Yes.
43 just got overlaid, so they would try to donate it to us with 400,000 a mile, one-time payment. And which would nowhere near, that would pave it the next time around and that'd be about it.
We think.
Well, you might get it paved one more time, but then with snow removal and all the other money that goes into it,
Mhm.
yeah, that'd do you one cycle.
Right, right.
And then it'd be all else. But
But the biggest thing was
I don't think they, Landry, at this point, they can't, they just can't dump it on us.
right,
But the way they're gonna try to do it, the ones they want us to have, is they're just not gonna pull any maintenance. And they're hoping that
county will just start
the
doing it.
county will finally cover up the potholes, paint the stripe,
Mhm.
take care of it.
Right,
But that's a dangerous situation.
That's dangerous, right? But this is what I looked at wrong. If a semi rolls right there, they're gonna be calling KDOT at this point because it's on KDOT right away. That's why I brought up, well, if you do this, you need to move the right of way. And then it is on right of way. If the right of way don't move, I don't think they can legally, can't stand on it.
but the response was, well, it's public right of way, all of ours.
It's everybody's right of way, but that's not true.
No,
If there's a wreck or whatever, it's on them to come fix the problems. It's on their so-called right of way.
no, there'll be more discussions
There's-
about
yeah.
this in the future without a doubt.
There's more
So,
to come,
yes, yeah.
10 years worth.
So do we need to involve the US senators on this discussion?
I think that would be a good step to go to next if they come back.
Because
Yeah.
Interstate, for example, I mean, that would,
It's a federal highway that they've received
I
federal.
mean, that covers just almost every county.
Right,
Yes.
right.
I mean, by the time you take up
What I'm hearing is some of the
and
western counties that have no population are gonna want to take that one-time payment just for the influx of money into their, somebody's gonna accept it.
Right.
At some point, and then they'll have a start, then they got something to go on. Well, whatever county out there, they took it and got the payment. And they want to do the rest of it that way.
They're supposed,
I think we need to get
Yes.
Congressman Mann, Tracy Mann in that conversation and Senator Moran.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
He can help tell the Secretary of Transportation. to take care of their own
Marshall.
Right, right. Right. We can certainly do that.
Tracy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, quite a while.
Who'd you have want to go first?
Well, and even
Cindy
Derek,
McDonald, actually.
Derek Schmidt wouldn't hurt to.
Yeah.
And not in his district, but he sure sends me letters for,
And my thought was
Can I
on the
help?
highway deal, could they
write a check.
offer money a little longer, like every 5 years?
Every 5 years or so, because they are receiving federal dollars.
There's another fix to that.
Right.
Yeah, giving out the one-time fund, I think it's a restaurant.
They're just seeing a way to,
Get out and get rid of it.
yeah, make it easier for them.
Well, and by statute, they're only required to, or they're required to manage 10,000 miles of roads. They're not at 10,000 miles. I think they're just above 9, but they are adding roads. So they're looking at ways to reallocate some of the responsibilities and that too.
Good morning, ready for you. Sorry.
I think she is.
Yeah, sorry to keep you.
Hi, Cindy McDonald, clerk of the district court. Thank you for letting me go first. I gotta leave right when I get done. I know I haven't been to a meeting since April, and I am so sorry. It has been nuts upstairs, so just wanted to feed you in on some things that were going on. So we have a new clerk starting in our office on Monday. I calculated we've been without a body since May 27th, so having another person finally start is going to be great. Her name is Alex Nagley, and she is a resident of Abilene. So we will be bringing her around on Monday, introducing her to everybody. Stephen Olson was promoted to a supervisor position with Court Services, so his duty station has been changed from Junction City and Erie County. We now have Tori Rumbaugh here to take Stephen's place in Court Services, and she actually resides in Junction City. So her and Stephen probably see each other every day as they're driving back and forth. The 8th Judicial District will have its Staff Development Day on Friday, September 19th. This year, it will be in Marion County, and we rotate our Staff Development Day between the 4 counties, Dickinson, Geary, Marion, and Morris. We'll have signs posted everywhere, and we will also put notices on the websites that we are closed that day. And then I'll send a reminder to all the county department heads in September as we get closer. We have had 8 jury trials already this year. In my 23 years of being here, I don't ever remember having that many. And we have 11 more scheduled for the rest of the year. So one is a civil, was a week-long civil case, so Brock can't be all the county. But we've
That's
just.
what I was looking at.
We just had mediation conferences and we're having them every month. I think May was the only one we had to skip. The one we just had Monday, 4 cases were settled. So mediation's going well. There were just some things that can't be worked out. And so we have been going to jury trial on those. So recovery court is still going strong. The recovery court staffing meeting has actually now been moved from our jury room down to the basement meeting room every Wednesday between 12 and 3, provided that no one else has that room scheduled. With the number of recovery court staff, we have about 20, and our jury room comfortably seats 12. So it's a big help in getting them down to have a little bit more room to do their staffing before recovery court starts at 3 up according to 2. My office is currently helping test a new version of our case management program. So, 2019 is when they started with it, and we're finally now upgrading to the 2023 version. So we have 3 people in my office. We're trying to help them test that so we can get that fixed. We will also be the pilot county for a new jury software program starting next month. So part of the craziness involved upstairs right now is we're just trying to get everything ready to get that started. So hopefully things will calm down sometime next year. I am in the middle of succession training in my office as I will be retiring October 1st of next year.
Okay.
I thought that might do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're in training and trying to show everybody, you know, what I do, and hopefully that'll be a good transition, so. I know, I'll bring Kleenexes that day. September 14th is actually my last day. I'll bring Kleenex. Any questions from you guys?
You know, it's just gonna stop working.
Oh, I know.
when you leave.
It'll just all of it. Judge Sexton will probably help me on speed dial, so. All right, thank you so much.
Thank
Again,
you.
I apologize, so, thanks.
Thank you. Whoever you want next.
Your call.
Okay.
Yes, they just come
Martin
in.
did it.
He's running.
Warren Tannehill, Director of Public Works. Just a few numbers that we have. Noxious weed department. So far this year, we've sold $104,000+ of chemical. At the same time last year, it was 102. So running normal, I would say, about the same. So far, we've had 32 well and water inspections, which we don't get a lot, but that's brought in $1,100. And we've done septic inspections, 27, which is $4,000 that we have charged for that. And we've had 29 permits got for housing. And that brings in 33 for sanitation. At transfer station, running about the same. So far, we took in 6,100 tons of material through the building. And last year it was 58, year before 62. So that's about the same. Other than that, we've shipped out a couple thousand gallons of used oil. Now that is something that was done before I got there, but we have been donating that to the Smoky Valley.
Well,
Okay, so far they've collected 2,000 gallons of oil. All right, e-waste, we've sold 8,700 pounds so far on the e-waste for 4 ton. And the big one, and not the big one, but the other one is our metal sales. So far, the pile of metal out there by the building, about 35,000 we've sold this year so far. But everything comparatively, that's about normal for a year. And then as far as the road and bridge department, we have been busy chip sealing since we last talked, and the county chip sealing is done. Our total cost on that was $519,000. And so for 33 miles, that's about $15,700 a mile. Now, if you were asking High Plains to come in and contract that, they run about $25,000 to $27,000 a mile to contract. So we're about $10,000 under contracting for the chip seal. So, other than that, we are finishing up the city hall this morning. They were just about done on the radio when I come in. And we're have their east to west streets done. And we have 4,000 foot of asphalt we got to lay down by the Dillon Co-op. When we were chip sealing, that last piece of road from the co-op down to 4 was in worse shape than what we thought. So we stopped chip sealing north of the co-op, and we're going to pave that Monday and Tuesday. And then the other thing is Wednesday, Thursday, the paint man will be in town. And I'll quit getting calls about when are you going to paint the road. So well, we should start if the weather's good. We'll be striping next week. That's it. Any questions?
and you're doing about 90 plus miles of paint
The
striping.
paint striping is 95 miles or so. Yes, we do about half of the miles every year in the county.
Thank you, Martin. Go ahead.
Chancey Smith, I'm the emergency management director. Been working on a lot of training here lately, local. Had a big fire training down in Harrington last week. Probably had 18 pumper trucks down there practicing water shuttling. A lot of people don't do that, but if you don't live in a city where you have a fire hydrant, the only way you get water is someone drives a truck in there with the water on it. You dump it into like a large swimming pool and you drive off and get another one. But we brought the surrounding communities in from Lincolnville and over in Morris County and brought all their trucks, and we all got together and kind of showed everybody what they have, and we did work some problems out. There was a turbo shuffle that's supposed to do it really fast, didn't work. there was a problem with it. So they've got that, they're gonna get it fixed and find out what happened. What a better way to find out it doesn't work is in training than to be at a structure fire where you're burning someone's house down and don't have it. Next Monday, I'm gonna help Ottawa County with a CERT class they're doing, a community emergency response team training. We're gonna also have one of those in our community coming up for adults. But in September, I'm starting again first semester at Abilene High School, teaching a group of high school students the community emergency response team training. Also teach them stop the bleed, CPR, and first aid. So we'll have 16 new high school students that'll be there for the whole year that'll have this training under their belt, that should something happen in that school, they're trained and prepared. And I think that's just great, because we did 16 last year also. But we found out, with the disasters we have here, we don't have enough responders to take care of a big disaster. And there's jobs that need to be done that our responders don't do. So this CERT training teaches normal citizens to come in and be able to help us. And they can come to us once this happens, if they're not involved, or even if they are involved, and relieve a lot of the pressure off our responders to get jobs done. So that's kind of the training we've done. Also, it's continuing to work on the EOP. The 28th, we're going to be in Clay County as a region, working on our emergency operations plans together. So we kind of have a cohesive plan that I know what Saline County is doing. Saline County knows what I'm doing. Clay County knows what I'm doing. So if I'm on vacation and I'm not in town, Saline County and Clay County know what our plan says, how it works, and they could step right in here and help you guys recover without me being here. So we're just trying to have some redundancy to the backups of disasters. You surely have questions for me.
I don't. Pretty straightforward.
Thank you for
I
what
like
you
the
do.
third deal with the high school. It's
It's awesome. And I've been trying for 20 years to get into the school doing it. I've taught it 6 years down in Harrington at the high school down there. And I just couldn't get Abilene. And finally I got a nurse in there that's teaching the hostess stuff. And she's like, come do it. It's nice. So I'm waiting for Chapman to jump on and say, hey, what about us? So it's next.
all right. Thank you.
Yep.
Good morning.
Good morning, it's Marcia Schneider, HR Director. At the end of the month, we're going to have 13 open positions. 5 of those are going to be in dispatch, although she's got 2 good applicants that we're starting to do the testing on and things like that. So hopefully those are going to work out. We still have 2 deputies positioned in the sheriff. I know that they are testing one, so maybe we're getting close on one. We have 4 open positions in the jail for corrections officers. They've done several interviews, and that takes a lot of testing as well, and I think we're getting close on a couple of those. At the end of the month, we're going to have a road and bridge equipment operator open, and we have the motor vehicle tax clerk position open in the treasurer's office, and I've been working with Leah doing interviews with that. I think we haven't someone we want to hire, depending on how some conversations went. So year to date, we've had 27 terminations and 14 new hires. And then the other thing, I got our 2026 benefit cost rate notice from the Department of Labor for next year for 26. And that rate is going to be 0.23%. And we budgeted at 0.1%. So the rate went up for next year. And they have a whole calculation that's based on, so I'm just going to read it so I don't mess it up. They divide the benefits charged to our account through the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2025 by the average wages we paid for the previous 2 fiscal years ending March 31st. And then there's a government rated factor that all government entity rate, all rated government employers pay. And so that adjustment factor is 1.46. So that means our benefits, so the rated government employer account is, these are non-charges were paid out by the General Unemployment Fund, and an adjustment has to be made to each employer's rate to reimburse the fund for these payments. So we get charged that rate, which is 1.46%. And so all that calculation comes up to the 0.23% for 2026. And if you want a copy of this, I can give you a copy, but to explain it a little better. But that's pretty much all I have today. So any questions for me?
What does that mean when the rate goes up?
We pay more.
Well, that's what I figured, but
Yeah.
what does that entail?
So, so it goes on, we've had 4 unemployment claims to our account this year. 3 of those were chargeable to us. 1 was not chargeable, which means didn't qualify for unemployment. And so year to date, the charged amount to our account is $21,786 through.
Do you show up at those hearings then when that's being discussed, or?
So I get a notice and I go on, so if someone applies for unemployment, they do their part, and then I get notice from the system. I go online and there's a bunch of questions that I have to answer. And so like if we discharge someone, they want documentation. So we can fight it, put our reasonings why the employee is not here. And then they make the determination. If we don't like it, we can ask for a hearing, but we have not done that, so.
There's quite a few people coming and going. Is that normal?
No, haven't seen this in quite a while. So 2 of those were here recently were 2 that just quit on us, no notice, didn't show up for their shift, said they weren't coming in, they were done. So,
Okay, I'll stop you right there. You don't need to get into detail.
yeah,
What I was concerned about is we went through a lot of trouble to make sure that we compensated people. We built a plan for folks, tried to get some security to them. And then we start looking at numbers like, oh, there's 15 out of there and there's 14 out of there.
yeah,
You kind of, wait, what's going on here?
right,
That's why I bring that up.
right.
Because compensation isn't always the
No.
factor.
There's been change in managers, supervisors, and sometimes when that happens, some people will leave because they don't want to work for that manager or supervisor. So
Okay.
I think,
there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
yes.
And some people are always looking for a job
Yeah.
too. So
Thank you, Mark.
that's,
Thank you.
I mean, I guess the part is, and in a way Ron was bringing that up, is we need to keep in mind, are there any variables or factors that we need to address?
Right.
And so, the cause and effect, it's different for every situation,
Yes.
but if there is some common thread or something we need to be aware of, we need to
Yes.
kind of get that figured out.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
And maybe we've just been very, very fortunate in the past, and so the statistics are starting to average out a little bit.
Hello.
Morning.
I'm new to you guys, so it's a privilege to meet you. My name's Amber Piper. I'm the new 911 director.
Good to meet
So, currently been here a week and a half, so be nice with your questions. But a little background on me, I come from Salina Police Department where I was for 19 years. My last role in dispatch was second in command with the official title of training coordinator. So with that, I made sure the dispatchers stayed current on their certifications, maintaining their required yearly CDE hours. I created a lot of trainings. I'm big into number and data. So I created a lot of training specific to our agency by looking at that data to see where our weaknesses were. I onboarded the new hires. I oversaw CTOs as they trained. I was also overseeing the quality assurance program, making sure that the calls that came into the center met customer service and compliancy standards with the protocols that we used. I was very blessed in working there. I got to be a part of many things that I never thought dispatch would. I hope to bring a lot of those here. But with that, some of my other passions included being the liaison between 911 and the fire and EMS. I'm big into community partnership, which a lot of that centered from. It's cheesy as it sounds, everything works better when we work together. I'm big into open lines of communication. So if a call doesn't go as well as it should, or a process needs to be changed with fire, EMS, law enforcement, that we can all come to the table and look at that and agree on neutral terms to make it better. I was on the crisis intervention team, including mental health, homelessness, opiates. I implemented the SED program in Salina. I got to go around and present that a lot, which is pretty neat and coming here because a lady at one of those presentations liked that program. So I worked with her, shared some forms, so she was able to implement that here in Dickinson County. Along the same lines, Dickinson County and Salina share the same local crisis team, which I was a big part of. So I hope, as it's newer here, I hope to be able to bring some ideas that resource could be used more here in Dickinson County. I was a project leader of the citywide continuous process improvement team. It was a group of 3 directors and myself where we worked together on citywide initiatives so we could make things more efficient, and we ended up saving a lot of money to the bottom line of budget, which is always important to everyone. Some of those bigger projects that we worked was a Walmart project. We were able to show data to present that Salina needed another medic unit. And then we were currently working on the last year on ways to reduce overtime there. But overall, I like to be busy, challenged. I'm very excited to be here at Dickinson County. And so far in my short week and a half here, I'm learning the local processes. And my main goal that Marcia kind of hit on is hiring people. At the end of the month, we'll be down to 4 of the 9 dispatchers, 1 of which is still in training. So ultimately, there will be times in September that we are running a 1-man shift, which is not ideal. And Janelle, Marcia, and I this week have been working through some of those challenges that will bring with just running 1 on shift. But good news with the last job posting that she put out, we did have almost 15 applicants, which I have never even seen in my years at Salina. So that's great. Many of those did bring in some type of 911 experience or law enforcement and general experience, which is also something that's not always typical. So I think that says a lot. We have picked out the top 2 and did first contact interviews on them the last couple of days. We're working on the background, which is all coming back good on them. And they went in for their pre-screen drug screening. Hopefully we'll be able to get them started about September 1st, begin training with basically only having 3 dispatchers and myself being very new. We aren't able to just bring in fill all the positions at once because we have to have some people that can train them, and there's only so many spots that there's only 1 open spot for training on a shift. So there's some challenges there, but hopefully bringing in the ones that have one still currently a dispatcher at Fort Riley, they could be a quicker train, and then we could move on to more of the applicants that they're still interested in a month or so. I know that was a lot to throw at you.
That was a lot.
Any questions?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Bring donuts to the front.
I don't know.
Let it go the first time.
Don't let it go this time.
Good morning, Lisa Berg, County Appraiser. We have completed about 75% of our maintenance this year. We're aiming to finish by mid-September. This year, we are also concentrating on building permits within the maintenance areas while we're on site, leading to somewhat of a longer phase than in previous years, but shorten the building permit cycle. By the end of July, we have received and validated a total of 314 sales validation questionnaires. We are currently processing agricultural questionnaires and the Division of Water Resources irrigation report. We have 95 permits with many overlapping across different parcels. This requires sorting and calculating the acre feet per acre, verifying that our numbers are correct. We're also tracking the CRP, and it's also challenging to document consistently because not all the questionnaires are returned with contract dates. So I don't have a lot this week or this month, but to close on a positive note, I am thrilled to report that we received our final compliance report from PDD stating Dickinson County is fully compliant with a final score of 100% this year. You should receive an official notification soon.
I think that's the first year we've had that. I mean, we've always been in the high 90s, but
Yeah, it's been,
Good job.
thank you. Guys have any questions? It's time. Okay, thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
Russ Johnson, registered deeds.
Morning.
My new employee, Brenda, she has been indexing all instruments from 2018 back to 2017, which is about 5,000 documents that she's indexed in. So she's just
working away. She loves what she does right now, so I'm gonna use her. Debbie and I are still indexing old documents as well. They're both in the process of learning recording. So when I go on vacation, they are fully ready to record documents. They're doing very well with that. Debbie has stepped up and Brenda is right behind her, so. We've had a 38% increase of the number of e-recorded documents from last year, which is where I figured things were gonna go with our jobs. We're gonna go more digital. We have recorded, I believe, 9 mortgages so far this year that are over $1 million. Yep, 9 mortgages. There has been an increase in mortgages, about a 15% increase in mortgage recordings from last year to this year. So that's a good thing. We've seen a lot more mortgages come through.
So are those all farmland or is it also businesses?
Some of them are businesses. One of the mortgages was the apartments over here on Northwest Second. Right over here. Some of it's agricultural land. It's just a mixture of both. I don't know if they're just changing things up with their contracts, so their mortgages have to change with that. Not sure.
So is activity similar to last year, in your opinion? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty even on mortgages, comparing it to the same year and time of last year as we are now. We had 380 mortgages last year. This year, we're at 382. So that's comparative. Most of our documents are right where they were last year at the same time. So we're kind of, the e-record is the one that's really just, it's going up the scale, which is great. It's a lot faster turnaround for the other entities. Banks are using them, title companies are using it. Some attorneys' offices send their documents in with e-record. It's just a lot faster turnaround. If I reject it, they get it right away and they can fix it and send it right back through, instead of taking a week or two to the mail. So I'll have more information on all of that because I think next week I meet with you guys next week, I think.
I think so. Let me look.
So I'll get some more of that kind of information next week. But both my employees have really stepped up and they're learning how to record, and that helps me out a lot if I need to take an afternoon or doctor's appointment or whatever. I know that some of those documents are going to get done.
I'd be curious the breakdown of mortgages and what type they are. Is that something you can tell us?
I can do that.
Perfect.
Yep, I'll have that for you.
Give us an idea. It is an interesting thing, you know.
Well, from the economic development side that we're interested in, but.
Yeah, there was one that was like a $12 million mortgage, but I think that was this building over here. Those apartments over there. Second, I think that was a $12 million.
Were those a HUD project or?
I don't know. They changed who owns them. No, that was the Homestead of Abilene.
Okay.
So, yeah, some of it's just apartments, some of it is businesses, a lot of it's agricultural land. So.
If the interest rates would pull back a little bit, we'd probably see a lot more activity.
We'll see another boom, yeah, for sure. Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Dustin Parks, I'm the Director of IT and GIS. So I'm going to glaze you guys over. We've got several projects happening all at once. Twin Valley is installing their fiber connection this morning. We won't be connecting it up to the firewall. We're just finalizing their connection. That's because the new firewall is being installed next week. Monday, we're going to get the new firewall in, and hopefully by Monday afternoon, we'll have everything switched over. We're hoping to do all the connections and stuff in the morning before business hours start. And then if there's any work that needs to be done to finalize it, we'll do it after hours. On top of that, our new servers arrived last week. They're down in the server room right now. They're still in boxes because Lenovo will be installing those for us. I'm actually reviewing the work of service documents. I got those this morning. And then, so hopefully, once I get those turned around, we'll have a scheduled install for the servers. They won't be operational in terms of in use by that time, but we'll have to plan the migration after. We've begun to use our mailboxes for email so that we can start work on the big Microsoft tenant migration that's going to come up here soon. And the last thing is one of the things that we're working on is looking, I got two more things, I apologize. We're looking at managed services for storage, because right now, on the whole, we have about 120 terabytes of data that we try to keep either active data or backed up. So that can be redundant backups and that sort of thing. We try to back those up as frequently as we can, but with our current backup situation, it's a challenge because it's a slow backup process, and the data itself doesn't change much, but the software has to check every single file for multiple change, to see if it's changed. And so every time we do a backup, it's looking at every single file. So we may be backing up a couple terabytes worth of changes, but the system has to look at every single file to see if it's changed. So it takes a long time. And that lends to errors, and those errors can lend to data not being backed up appropriately. And so one of the things we're looking at is a managed service that would allow us to essentially go hands-off with the data stores so that it takes some liability off of the county if data is done correctly. And it takes some of the liability away from, takes liability away from the county if the data is backed up incorrectly, but it also allows us to do tests on the backups very frequently. So right now, most of our time is spent trying to get the backups to complete, but if we end up moving to a managed service for those backups, the service itself would check those backups for us. We still have on-site backups. We're not going to use cloud backups, but there are services out there that would actually process the backups for us. They check them, they make sure that they're going appropriately, and then they check the data. And that also makes them responsible if the data fails. And that liability is huge because they're the ones responsible for making sure that it's available. They're the ones who are responsible for, we send them requests to get data pulled back from those backups. And so it would take a load off of our office, both in terms of workload, but also in terms of liability. So it's something we're looking into. We haven't made a decision yet, but our backup software licensing is due next year. So I'm hoping to have an answer for what we could recommend at the beginning of this year, beginning of the year. The last thing is we've begun deploying a new software. It's called a device management software. And so right now, currently, we have 4 or 5, depending on how you look at it, different softwares that we use. One for managing devices, so that's pushing updates and that kind of thing. One for inventory management of those devices. One for remote access to those devices, and another one for tickets. And then a 5th one could be considered through Microsoft Intune for some mobile devices. And when I was looking at the cost to renew all those, individually, they're not very expensive. But when you add them all up for what they do, it was around $8,000 to $9,000 a year for all of them total. And we got to looking at other solutions, and we found one that some other counties around us are using. It's got a silly name. It's called Ninja One, but it does all of that in one environment. And it's more robust than what we have now. And it turned out to be cheaper by about $2,000 a year. So we can get more for less by using this one service instead of using 4 or 5 multiple services. Long story short with that, they basically charge us per device. Some of the services we use now charge us per license, per user. Some charge per device, some a yearly enterprise license. So this allows us to have one recurring bill that is cheaper. We get it through one of the resellers we have. So we got it at a reduced price. And allows us a lot more flexibility in the device control we have. And we haven't even launched the ticket function yet, but when we do, we'll be able to cut time down on the time we spend helping people with tickets, because we'll be able to identify problems from the tickets themselves. And we're hoping to be able to provide solutions within the ticket system so that people might be able to solve some basic problems on their own with recommended stuff if we run into it past. So we're hoping to have all that launched by October. So the next 3 months for us are basically just a complete and utter change. So by November, we'll probably all be bald in our office. So, but that's all I have. Unless you guys have any other questions for me at this point.
Lucky Jerry wasn't here, he'd have a stopwatch.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yep, thanks.
Last but not least.
I'll be sure.
The reason we have to walk across the street.
Yeah.
Keep the Ryan going.
Well, you won't have to do that anymore this month. Brook Abbey County Attorney, I'll leave with that. We don't have any more jury trials scheduled for this month. There is some obviously scheduled in September and October still. I wanted to explain, I guess, a little bit when Cindy was up there talking about mediation. I don't know if I ever talked to you guys about that or told you what it is. It's been active in this district before I got here, and it's voluntary. So it's voluntary for my office and anyone who's going through court upstairs to participate in the program. But basically we have either a retired judge come in once a month or an attorney whose practices involves mediation come in once a month. And right now we have both of them, so they rotate each month. But we've dedicated one day every month to that, where we try and keep court a little light so the attorneys in my office can participate in that. And then we just schedule appointments throughout the day where I'm in a room or someone in my office is in a room. The person who's gone through court is in a room with their attorney, and the meter goes back and forth to try and see if we can get cases resolved without going to trial. It's worked really well in this district and continues to. So that's what she was talking about. The other things I was going to tell you is, one, with Jerry not being here too, Jerry's office and my office applied for a domestic violence training program. It was merit-based. They had to go through an application process. DVAC's involved with it too, and we're selected for it. So an attorney from my office, our victim witness coordinator, sheriff's lieutenant, and DVAC went to a training for that in Texas. And part of it was committing to being involved with them for a period of time, including additional trainings, including hosting trainings here. They'll come here and do trainings. We have one of those coming up I was going to tell you about. It's September 2nd. We just got the notice for it. We got it sent out. We invited all the 4 law enforcement agencies in Dickinson County to participate, send their own officers for that. So it's a dedicated domestic violence training that's coming up. We're going to have here in Dickinson County, and that'll continue. They'll schedule more of those as time goes on this year and next year. So, do you have any other questions? I know I've talked to you before about case numbers and what you can expect today, but just overall, generally, year to year, we are lower in criminal case numbers this year than we were at this time last year. I will say that there's kind of a flag's the right word of violent cases in my office right now. We're just kind of short-staffed, not short-staffed, but short people that we have some on leave. I guess I'll just put it that way. But the cases that have priority are the ones who somebody's sitting in jail, so they get filed right away. And if somebody post-bond or something like that, it might take us a little bit longer to file the case. So I think we have some cases that'll contribute to that gap in case numbers, but overall, I do think we are down. Anyone have any questions? I don't know, the 8 or 7, I guess, attributable to my office are pretty proud this year. I'm not surprised by that. I'll say that. I think that's probably a trend that will continue.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Do you want to take a break and just let me get my notes?
Break and go downstairs.
I'd like to. I just want to
Sure.
see it.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and take a break from 10:39 till we'll resume normal meeting at 11.
Yeah.
Just know that horses down there and had someone who's a little rowdy, so. You paid us a visit first. Show up, you might catch some of it too. I'll tell security you're going down. Yeah, get it, stretch out a little, get that right in.
There's a. Oh, man. You're good, take it down.
Sure.
Be
Be careful when you do it.
Yes, yeah.
When he came in here and says, Ron, what lyric? I said, yeah.
I know we will put the first you want. What you
I didn't think about that, and we have up to 30 spots, so I don't, the law enforcement patrol is, yeah.
And we currently only have 3 of us, so there's not a lot of spots, and I don't, but that is important, like, some of the concerns that dispatchers have expressed on other things is, they don't know, like, a lot of gun stuff, so the calls with guns, they don't know what questions that they're not familiar with guns. So in just that thinking, when you mentioned that, I was like, hey, maybe this is important for you guys to ask during domestics, or this is how you can help us with domestics, that kind of thing.
This one in particular, I would say would be, because if you're the first contact with them usually.
Yes.
This one is dedicated to primary aggressor. So if it's domestic,
Yeah.
maybe they'll get something out of it to determine what's going on as far as
Yeah.
between the two also.
Right. And they feel a lot of times like they're not included with other agencies.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are their, and so we said that.
It's September 2nd. I will just send the flyer. I think it's, off the top of my head, I think it's 8:30 in the morning till 4.
Sure. I mean, I can't get all of them there at one time.
Right.
But any
We'll do
reason maybe
more
have it in
than-
another.
yes.
So, yeah, if you
We're the
if you
committee
have
will
one
do
as well.
it.
If you thought that was okay. I'm
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah.
You did make me happy because one of my first days here, I was kind of sitting there, like, what do I do? And then I saw the people for request, I'm like, I know how to do that. Let me figure out the recording.
I didn't know you started, so I sent it to somebody else. I was like, oh my God. Well, dude, yeah.
It would take a lot.
Martin, how are you?
Well, they ain't complaining your way about our road work down there?
Martin, they have
Doing
actually-
all right?
Martin, they
I mean,
absolutely love that stuff.
you know, we.
They walk into the bank what's her name at the bank there? And she said to come in there and talk about the Excella cleaner. Nicer. It's nice stuff. I mean,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, I'm using it too at the county, so, you know, I was hoping so, because I hadn't used it before.
it's,
When I told Mary Sue, I said, you know, I'm gonna have these people come talk to you, give them a call, and
yeah.
I'm gonna try it, you know?
And those Stephanie said they're just going, she said she got a lot of compliments.
Just small towns,
Yeah.
them kind of things mean a big difference, yeah.
It's just a cleanliness thing. It's just,
Yes,
you
right.
drive down the highway and look down the dang street and you say, wow.
That looks nice.
She's cleaned up.
Yeah, it looks nice. That's, yeah.
And things. So, yeah, no, it's going good.
Yeah, I've always said that, though, yeah, when they drive through and the roads are crap and everything, it's one of the first opinions people get
It's
about
right.
your town.
That's exactly right. No, we
You
just,
know, it don't matter how nice a bank or restaurant you got, if
That's
the
those-
roads are crap, then they're gonna think the wrong thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, we're just about, I think they should be done with Hope now. We did all half of Hope, the east-west
Did you?
streets this year on the chip seal.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they can afford and that's what they
Yeah,
asked
no,
for, but we got that done for them today, so.
yeah, no. Well, Martin, what would you have to do on there? Like a gravel roads, if you want to go to kind of get them blacktop somehow?
Yeah, so,
What would you?
yeah, I'm telling you, the way to do it is I'd do it just like they did 25 years ago. I'd start with a chip seal and then double chip seal.
Start building
And
it up.
start building the road up, just like, that's all they did to all, not all 40, but most of the roads in
Yeah.
this county where they bladed it to shape
Right.
it, of course, get
Yeah.
it shaped right, and then just start chip sealing.
I'll
Do a
be-
double or so trip seal the first time and then keep at it till you build something.
I'll be.
Yeah, and just don't let it go. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how Deer and Key Road and Oak Road, that's how they were all done.
I'll be dang. No, they.
Yeah, and it was just oil and rock. And then once you get a nice little pattern, couple, 3
Mhm.
chip seals on there, then they're to hold the weight of the lay down machine and the
I'll
asphalt.
be dang. Well, I didn't
I
know.
mean, you can shape it, put a chemical in the gravel and pave it right off the bat, but that's awful expensive.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah,
nobody has any money.
Right, to do it the other way, chip seal doesn't cost you as much.
Right.
Start getting the dirt knocked down and covered with oil and rock.
You're not bringing
Yeah.
more value to your community, and people are more likely to keep their homes up or put a home there and cheap, you know.
Well, you know, right out here, John Golf always said it. Because there was getting to be about 8 or 10 pretty shitty homes on First Street, right here in Abilene.
Yeah.
And then when they came through and redid that road,
It changed. didn't
it
it?
changed.
You
Yeah,
bet it
then it went down right away to just a couple, and then they can't even come along and started mowing and cleaning and, yeah.
I'll be dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it made a difference. You know, John Golf said, you watch, them
Yeah.
houses will start they'll start cleaning it up. Now that their road and sidewalks good, and boom, and he was right.
I'll be darned. Well, they're heading one house at a time. We got a dozen.
Yeah, well, but in a town that size, one at a time's that's actually
Yeah.
not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And old Doug, he doesn't mess around. Mary Sue's and Doug have worked together on
Yeah.
some time for a number of years, and boy, they got down to science now, how they get taken care of.
There you go.
They get on it.
Yeah.
You know.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I was a little, surprised when she said the amount of
Yeah.
you know, I'm not saying things are overpriced,
Yeah.
Okay. You know,
They're
we were trying to talk about that apartment. I said, God, dang, you know what $12 million would have bought you in this town 10 years ago, 15 years ago,
Martin.
20 years ago for sure.
He had a $50,000 home.
Oh, yeah.
Nice home.
That's
and
not, it
everything.
was a nice home. Yeah.
More than $50,000, they'll put a porch on a home.
Nope.
Holy cow, it's different.
Yes, I mean, I don't mind that they say homes are worth that, but
I don't know how they pay for
I
it.
don't know how, okay. That's just what I said. Mark and I was talking. I said,
Mhm.
God damn, they must be making a $2,000 a month mortgage payment.
Some of them,
Yeah, or 2,500. I
some of
mean,
them are making good money.
yeah. And so what kind of money, what do they do for a living?
This is a piece of scrap land I'm gonna get rid of. It's up north of Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's a hunting piece of ground I'm gonna get rid of. And I bought it for less than $300 an acre.
Yeah.
And the realtor said, we won't let it go for less than 600,000.
Jesus.
That's
Yeah.
$10,000 an acre. We got a $5,000 bid right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fool. No, I can't.
Why would you hang on to it?
Why would you hang on to it?
Why would you hang on to it? Yeah.
I mean, it's a sad thing to say, but
Yeah.
hell no.
You know, up there we're getting ready to vacate the road by George Gracky's on the Ottawa County line. I don't know what
Right.
You're talking about. Well, some realtor or some guy called,
Yeah.
he's looking at buying Luthi's land.
Oh,
So he was interested, is there still gonna be a road there or whatever?
yeah.
And he said, no, I do have access, but I wanted to see
Yeah.
if there was gonna be a road down that east side. But, you know, I told Shiloh when we got phone with him, I said, you know, that guy's probably just buying that because he might want to come down there and hunt.
Well, that's,
And why was the Luthi's farm the little pieces of farm?
they're not, that's what it is.
They ain't making no money out
Can't
there.
farm it, the equipment's too big.
Yes, right. So,
You know,
yeah, because it's just little 20-acre patches or
Patches,
18
yeah.
acres.
oh, you're just
on-
getting
yeah.
it.
So Luthi's are going, well, shit, some
Yeah.
guy out of state's got money, wants him a little hunting place.
And that's a thing that they're doing right now. It's a lot of, it's not common where you and I.
Yeah,
type people.
right.
It's these are folks, movie stars and all that kind of
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
George Strait's looking at some land. up
You
there.
bet, yeah,
I mean, you
Yeah.
think, here's a guy down in Texas, singer, retired.
yeah. But he might want a little hunting
Just a
place
little
up there.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially if it's a little town where they can go kind of,
Yes.
in the evening, go drink a beer, have
Yeah,
fun.
okay. Remember years ago, Bum Phillips, he was the Houston Oilers football coach.
Yeah,
And I'm out working in a little town out in West Texas. And a little gas station, just a wood-sided old gas station with 2 pumps. I go in there, pay gas and get a cup of coffee, and I look at that guy.
he said,
And I said, "Yeah," and he's sitting there at the coffee table,
Yeah,
with
but
4
there's-
or 5 other people sitting there. And I finally got up the nerve and I went over and said hi to him. But yeah,
is that
yeah,
right?
that was Bum Phillips to make sure I wasn't wrong. But, you know, that guy, you know, I know where his main address was, you know, he had a wonderful $500,000,
Oh, sure.
$750,000
There's
home.
a chicken feed in those.
But yeah, there he was out there in a pair of blue jeans and a work shirt,
I'll be darned.
sitting out there. So,
That's,
yeah.
you'd
But
rather
you're right, but he owned land out there. Yeah, he just wanted to be one of the locals.
let that come out to the
Yeah.
quiet areas.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I hear you.
Yep.
How's that, overlay on Fair going? You think it's going well?
So good.
You got one little area.
Yeah, but did you see where they come back and passed it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, yeah. So that was the faults that where people got into it before they could
Yeah.
stop them. And they did one down by Old 40 and then one up north and one in the middle there. So,
I have an outside salesman that works for me now. and
Yeah.
He's one of them guys, he's really probably not a salesman, but he's good at finding core engine,
Yeah.
transmission. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And, but he's a salesman too, kind of both. Well, he used to work on a road crew in Branson.
okay.
I said, what do you think about our roads? And he goes, I'm surprised you guys got it this smooth with the one you're putting it down. He goes, that is small.
Yeah. Our lay down
He
machine.
goes, that is
Yeah.
old. He goes,
Yeah.
you're using like a
And,
2010
yeah.
John
So,
Deere.
yeah. That's all.
That's what he compared it
That
to
would
me.
be what you would compare it to.
And I said, really? He goes, yeah, you're using an old.
But
But he gave you compliment. He said you guys did a really
I
good job.
didn't look too bad for that machine.
That's
did
what
it?
he said.
Yeah, I told the guys that got down, they needed to go see what Schilling was using. I mean, that operator was sitting at 12 feet
Yeah.
high. Yeah, we're
They-
sitting down here on this
So
little,
because they're making them now to go over the whole damn road, right?
well, yeah, but he was on, they were only doing one lane. But what they have is they have a machine where there's an operator sitting up top, the truck dumps in it. He handles the material to let that truck go so another can get in. And he pumps it back to the lay down machine. And that guy's on a machine where he's sitting 10, 12 feet in the air. I mean, it's a, you know, we got that little Lee boy, what they call.
That's what he called it.
Yeah, the driveway parking lot machine. And we have been laying 30, 40 miles of asphalt a year for a lot of years with it.
Yeah.
It's all in the group and the technique. It is, you know, but they told us, no, you needed more.
Oh, yeah.
But we didn't. And we've got by fine.
Well, you got, he said you guys did a pretty good job. I know he's laid
I mean-
pretty big
I mean-
roads down there.
The newer ones, obviously, they have so much more electronics and keep it finer and, you know, yes, it would be somewhat a little smoother with the bigger, newer setups, but for what we do and for the money we spend.
What's the difference there when we go to replace it?
Yeah, probably $300,000 to $400,000 more than what I
Really?
paid for mine.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. The last guy I asked when it was APAC and they did a piece of old 44s one year and it was brand new. And I asked him and he said, no, we paid 675,000 for this one.
Oh,
And we don't pay that for ours, but we do it a little different setup. We're one of the only ones that still clamp onto the back tires of the truck. So we don't, they can't get away. You know, them big rigs, they never even hook up. Truck just ease into the truck, he dumps, they leave.
yeah.
Yeah, and but, so it's a different setup, but it works, yeah. We still got a few more years in it before we have to give that one up and think about.
Well,
buying
you
the
Chris
rest of it.
Tim, he's one of the smartest guys I know on the construction equipment side. That's the guy I kind of was talking about. You need to find an engineer. I can give you some guys that'll find those engines.
You just have to go look.
Yeah, and this guy, so when
Time
you
to
do, he's a
look.
core buyer.
There you go.
You know who they
Yeah,
are. And they're in every yard. They know what's out there.
yeah. So you just have to, if you know you're gonna do it, you want to start this year for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he finds the right deal. the
And
right
he can help us. But there's a dozen of them guys out there I know.
one.
Martin, did you need to talk to me?
No, it's all right. No. Then it won't wait until next week when I'm back on Monday. We got Monday, right?
Yes.
After the staff meeting.
Yep, we do. Yep. Okay, perfect.
Y'all have a great day.
Martin. We'll see ya.
sales tax back a little bit.
Yeah, a little
A
bit.
little bit.
I mean,
I want to see what our big fair brought in.
I know. That's true. We probably won't see that until October.
Are we recording or live?
Oh, yes, yes.
We have to be. Yeah, we do.
all right. I think it'll come up again, but I see that the getting the house opened up for the women. And they're starting to take
We
contributions.
can bring that conversation up again, but I think when we find out how much we're gonna get, Grant,
Once we
We need
find
to
out,
talk
we'll
about
have more.
well, we kind of did.
We have an estimate, but we're waiting to see what the dollars will be for this month and plan on reviewing that with you.
Okay.
I'll do that September, didn't we?
That would work.
Hey, Lynn. I'm gonna bring up today that I'm combining Grant Township and Newbern Township location for voting into Enterprise. So I want you to be surprised.
Okay. So,
So
but if you live on the northwest
two-
edge of Grant, you're gonna,
all four of these are gonna go to Enterprise.
okay.
Right now we have 2 and 2.
So where do the Grant people vote now? Aren't
In
they?
the Grant Fire Station here in Abilene,
Okay, but they're gonna have to go to the east.
they have to go to Enterprise.
Okay.
Yep.
But that also includes someone that say lives just south of Talmadge.
No.
Well,
Well,
that's
I mean,
okay.
if they're in Grant,
yeah, if they're north of
Oh,
Old
yes.
40, if they're north of Old 40, they'll go there.
Yeah.
So if they're north of Old 40 and west of
in case you get calls.
15.
So
Okay.
right now, all four of these, right now, these 2 go to Enterprise and these 2 go to Grant. They're all gonna go to Enterprise.
There's 2,500 south.
Okay. Well, that's your call.
It'll save us money.
It's we'll have to one less polling location to manage and maintain poll workers and equipment. So we'll go from
My-
polling locations to 9.
We can have another discussion, some of the, and you're aware of that, like, I just think of what happened at Dodge City, and then all of a sudden it turned into something that people were being inconvenienced and,
Well, they're not the only one that has that many,
okay,
and I can show you where everybody goes.
okay. No, well, thanks for the heads up.
Noble has actually 5 townships going to them,
Hmm.
spread out. Talmadge has 4 as well. Carlton has 4.
We're close. I call this meeting to order. If it all rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Like, we're only gonna have one item to consider today, and it's the consider of application for authorized emergency vehicle request. And that would be the approval for the agenda today. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Moving down to consent agenda, the minutes from the August 7th meeting are provided in your packets. Payroll of $416,263.75. Election worker pay of $1,805. A special check for $1,931.25.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Commissioner comments, committee reports. Why don't we start with Lynn?
About the only thing I have is tomorrow I'm going to attend a barbecue over at Fort Riley, and General Rome is hosting that. And so I'll be in attendance there.
Sidebar, I got that invitation. I'm not trying to be rude to him. I didn't know if it was real.
Oh, well,
Yeah, but it is obviously.
Well,
new,
it's an annual event.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
I didn't realize. I had no idea. I'm like,
So it comes from on their protocol, they'll have someone send it out on behalf of the general.
Okay.
So I spoke to someone else that said they were going to be attending, so.
I ended up denying it, but that works out. Okay, good to know.
General Rome, you said ROME, or do you know?
Look it up.
ROHME.
I think it's the N instead of the N.
Oh,
Okay.
in.
I can look it up and let you know.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sidebars.
No, that's fine.
Ron, you get anything?
I don't have anything this week here.
And I do not actually have anything this week either. Okay, no petitions or proclamations this week. We'll move down to public comments with Janelle Dockendorf, County Administrator, would read the rules, please.
For the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During the regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comments shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
Thank you. Give it 30 seconds here, see if anyone has a comment. I thought we were gonna have, I guess not.
Evidently not.
Okay. Don't believe we have any public comments for today, so I will go ahead and move on. If we get to our reports from our county officers, we'll begin today with County Administrator Janelle Dockendorf.
Commissioners, you heard from quite a few of the managers, so I'll just highlight a couple things that are going on. The Public Works Department has completed the chip seal for the season, which is good news. They'll finish up in Hope and they've done 33 miles of chip seal. They're also filling driveways along Old 40 where overlay took place, and that was from Solomon to Abilene this year. Paint striping is supposed to start next week, and Martin advised this morning it was 95 miles of road. So we'll do the 33 miles, the 30 miles of overlay chip seal, and the 2 miles of micro surfacing. Now, that should be our 95 miles. So the zoning director sent out notices regarding the building permits as the county appraiser's office is going around the county and doing their annual maintenance. They're finding more people have not submitted a building permit. So Tim's following up with that. And just a reminder to everyone, you do need to get a building permit when you do build a structure in the county. Contact Tim, go onto our website and you can do that.
I'm gonna just comment, and I think this has come up before. And I realize people are busy, or sometimes they think the builder's getting the permit and the builder can say, well, I thought they were getting the permit, but yet everybody knows you need a permit. And there's a catchment where they find it and have to pay it, but it just seems like there should be some sort of penalty or reprimand, because, I mean, more than just saying, oh, you should have done it. Because other people do buy permits and go through the process. And I know sometimes we'll have situations where someone is in the midst of building and they say, hey, do you have the permit? And they'll come in and they should have gotten it before.
Right.
But
Tim charges them the permit fee, but we can certainly look in and see if it needs to be doubled or more.
Well, I don't want to go overboard on it, but I do know in some areas, even if you've built something, you have to disassemble it if you did not have your permit, if there was any inspections that were missed. And so, I mean, there's other entities or groups that are stricter about it in other areas.
Right.
And so anyway, I think it's at least worth a discussion, and I don't know what the other commissioners think about it, or Tim, and I'm sure there's reasons to the process. And the main thing is we do get the permit finally and have it on the tax roll.
Have it on the tax rolls, yes.
Well, on the permit, would that include the cities?
Yeah.
Just the outside areas, rural areas?
Right. That is it. Yes. Yeah. But that is something that Tim will be tasked with, and making sure that we are.
I know they have this problem too. In the EDC, I heard a story of a downtown building that got restored and they didn't have the permit.
Didn't have a permit, yes. Yeah.
So it seems to be an issue at every level.
Right.
Are you suggesting maybe like I don't know how to word this right, an ordinance that can we even do that? Commit a fine, basically?
Commit a fine, yes. We could look at a resolution
You suggest?
or zoning regulations to make sure that they are appropriate.
Maybe when we have our meeting with other counties to see how they handle
A
it.
little teeth to it, maybe. I think
Yes.
that's what you're getting at.
I mean, if they're building a tree house for their kid or something, and I mean, we aren't looking for every little board and nail that gets placed, but
If you're putting down a 50 by 100 shed.
But yes, sometimes it is something where it's a major commitment, and
Right.
But if it's in town, they don't have to have permits, do they?
Yes.
I thought you said just a minute ago, they don't have to have it here. in
Well,
town.
the city has their own zoning
City is-
regulation, and then we have our zoning regulation.
Yes.
but part of the reason for the permit too is just that it's done to regs, but also
Right.
at that point, we know to put it in as part of the valuation.
Right.
Yeah.
Has to go on the tax rolls. Yes.
And so, unless, if we're being frank, some stuff is a little more serious than others. Depends on the utilities you're bringing in, depends on what you're doing in the building. I think what we're wanting to know is safety issues. If there's a fire out there, we need to know there's a propane tank out behind your shed. We need to know these things. So we don't walk into something that kills somebody. So I'm not saying every situation is probably that bad. Some of these are probably just sheds that they're putting a lean-to shed or something, that's one thing, but.
Right.
So I have to agree with you. There's got to be a limit.
Find out what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Is what
We can do that. Yeah.
And that's for a future discussion.
Absolutely, yes. We'll take a look at that. We do have open positions in the Public Works Department, dispatch, and in jail. So please visit the county website. At 1 PM today, we have a canvass of the City of Abilene primary election. And then next week, just as a reminder, the fiscal year 2026 budget hearing will be held on your commission meeting dates at 11:05. So that's all I have unless you have any questions for me.
Anything, commissioners?
I'm sure Doug's wrapping up the tax sale.
Yep, and Doug is not here. He is preoccupied with the tax sale, county counselor. Moving on.
Marcus.
Marcus Rothschild, good point. Moving down, we'll do notices and communications from County Clerk Jennifer Gayton.
The election canvas, like Janelle said, will be held today at 1 PM in the commissioner meeting room in the courthouse, where the canvas board will review 11 ballots. Excuse me. Due to the rising cost of elections, the polling location at the Grant Fire Station will be combining with the Phyllis Jackson Meeting Room polling location. So beginning this November, Grant and New Bern Townships will go to their new polling location located at 206 South Factory in Enterprise, Kansas. You will receive a letter and a certificate of registration reflecting the change. This is solely for your records. There's no response required. I did send out an updated R&R notice with a correction last Friday due to a software issue that was found in the calculation of the 2025 taxes levied on townships or third-class cities. And as we continue to refine budget processes and verify publications, we have encountered several issues with errors in published materials, primarily due to mistakes originating from the newspaper. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, I'll go ahead and move on if we don't have anything for Jennifer. So we'll move down to other business. And today we have one business item, which is to consider the application for authorized emergency vehicle request. Just real quick before we get into this, I emailed Janelle and asked, is this a chief, an assistant chief? I don't know if I'm comfortable giving just everyone lights, but I have been told he is a
Station chief for New Bern.
New Bern. So that made sense. So I just wanted to verify that first. Thought I'd give you guys that bit of information.
And I think there are regulations where someone just can't go out and buy emergency type lights. That it's more than a county law. It's
state statute. State, and there's it's KSA 1720 and 1738. One is for lights and the other is for the audible warning devices. The fire chief also has to approve this. The emergency manager has to approve this as well. So get the review there.
Which they both have.
New Bern Station chief?
Yes.
Fire station chief? Yes.
Any other discussion, commissioners? It's pretty straightforward.
I would move that we go ahead and approve this application for the authorized emergency vehicle request from Lane Driscoll.
I'll second that motion. Any more discussion? I only wanted a second because I know this lady's my friend. I want to be on the record. I want to send him a picture.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, with no other business on today's, no other discussion, I would motion for adjournment.
Also move.
Second it.
And just matter of discussion, we will reconvene.
Yes.
Yeah,
1
sorry.
o'clock.
I apologize.
Well, just so
1
public
p.m.
knows,
Right.
that's public.
No, you're right. I apologize. And I was supposed to read that. The county commissioners will reconvene at 1 PM for the canvass of the August 5th, 2025 primary election of the city of Abilene. Okay. Let's redo the motion. I'll motion to adjourn.
Oh, just like it.
You saw a motion on the table.
Still, that's just part of the discussions.
Okay, got it.
Go with the original motions.
Okay,
Okay.
and we're adjourned.